It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja Nemo Akashat Zibiri, how are you?
Fine, good morning. It was Abdurrahman Balogun's birthday of Nitcom.
On Wednesday, I saw his message. I said, Nima is not here.
Ara.
Now that I remembered.
I dare not. I'm sure he's waiting for me. Catch me.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Arab. Today is Jumoke Alawade's birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Match babies.
20 years. I'm trying to remember her name, but happy birthday to all of you, Match people.
Nice.
My brother's one is tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
No, my elder sister, first daughter, then my brother is the 30th. Match just this scatter ground like that.
That was nice.
But them.
Good.
Interesting. I'd like to meet that your brother that is 30. I want to find out his
The only son.
personality. His personality.
The only son.
Why,
It's close to your own.
Is he close to my
The
personality?
real Akasha.
How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. This is probably my third year that I'm going to be missing my son's birthday. Samuel, I keep going for conferences around that same time. So no matter what happens next year, I must be around. I hope I will be around. But I've already presented his birthday gift to him in advance. Told him he cannot wear it until that day. But generally, I'm grateful to God. Producing content. Yesterday, I was working. I just sat down in the living room and on my laptop, and I was working. And I just looked at the time. It was 9:20.
Oh.
I felt that my wristwatch must be wrong. So I checked my phone, 9:20. Checked my laptop. I looked outside. I opened the video. I'm like, So it had gotten dark. Like, I just sat down and I was lost inside work for hours.
That happened to me on Monday and Tuesday. Like, I was, like, swamped. Your body is like, so when I was supposed to do a live, I've been telling you about doing a live, I just never got around to it because I was just busy. You know?
As in, so it shocked me, like 9:20. How did it get to 9:20? I was thinking maybe it's like 8 something, that okay, I'll still do one thing before 9, then I'll go to sleep around 9.
Oh, it's good.
Time also flies.
YK is back. She's hiding it.
Why can't I think
She's watching.
Auntie Yedi Kuti. We got our eyes
Your
on
hair is
you.
popping.
Hair by BC. BC got me. BC got
I
me.
got you, ladies.
How you doing?
Fine. So we are doing Ramadan collection.
Yeah.
And
I
our
saw
muse
Nima.
and model, Nima, had to wear the outfit
Is she wearing
to
it today?
model. No,
No,
she's
no.
not wearing today, but I'm going to be posting on my page
Yes.
to model for the Ramadan. So you can send in your orders, buy pre-order, send in fast.
your
so that
wifey
I can get
gifts.
it ready. Yes, buy your wifey gifts. And I used original Adire Oshogbo to achieve all of that. You know now, it's an Adire something.
Zanadre, I loved
Then also I'm still popping masking. Body by BC.
Hey.
We're just
Please look up, let
going
us
to
see
be
your
like
face.
this for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
So get ready.
Your skin is seriously popping. Like, I'm
you.
enjoying it on
Thank
TV.
you.
Good,
Thank
good,
you.
good, good.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yesterday, I was supposed to go for a quick meeting and come back, and I just got stuck on the island for 5 hours.
Yeah, the
Close-
traffic.
I didn't check the traffic announcement.
But
that
it was
said that-
very short. It was
they
just
didn't
after
give
5 minutes I saw it, everybody started announcing. My husband couldn't come.
Oh, yes, it was horrible.
It was very short.
5 hours in traffic. I left
Closed
Lekki
again
at
today.
5:30. I think they said they're going to open it today, hopefully. But
No,
it
they
was-
didn't open. They did the usual.
So yesterday,
Close this side and open the other.
yes,
one
but
side.
yesterday they closed both. So that's what caused the grid.
Yeah,
But
unusual.
eventually, I think Nigerians have been Nigerians. We went to open it, and people were just going on terminal bridge. We shouldn't have.
Complaint was a lot. People spent too long in traffic.
5 hours.
I spent quite
The notice should come a day, full
A day.
24 hours at
Yes,
least
so that
before.
we know. We were
at
not
least.
told.
It's no emergency shutdown.
Terrible yesterday. Please, they should do better with information. Okay, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with the show with our paper reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Outages. Minister threatens discos with license revocation. Tinubu, Awolowo's legacy principles live on. NPA plans $1 billion reconstruction of Tinkan on the ports and others. UCH doctors on strike over attack on colleague. Bureaucracy, cash crunch, stall e-passport issuance. APC draws battle line with governor over 16 lawmakers. Controversy trails killing of 30 in Benue. Government unveils policy to drive investments in oil, gas sector. 21 of 24 lawmakers signed Shebu's impeachment notice, and President pays glowing tributes to Herbert Wigwe. Okay, sorry.
So Edo drama have started. The lawmakers of the House of Assembly of Edo State have decided that some conduct of the deputy governor is inimical to the peace of the state. They said he also have revealed certain top secrets that affect the governance of the state. And these to them are impeachable offenses. And so 21 of them have signed the process that kicks it off. Some sides supportive of the deputy governor have said this is the wrong timing. Other sides have said this is the right thing to do. His actions have continued to disturb the peace because he's falling out with the governor. So we're waiting to see how this works out. I expect some court cases, some getting some preventive orders and all of that. Oh, they watch.
So they said mayhem broke out on Tuesday in Bagi Ukum local government area of Benue State and continued till early hours of yesterday. And operations Wild Stroke OPWS, which is a military task force covering Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa states, had put the death toll to 30 persons. Meanwhile, the traditional ruler said there were not 30, but there were about 45 persons that were killed. Now, the senator representing Benue Northeast, Emmanuel Udende, told his colleagues during plenary that 50 persons were actually killed. And the OPWS had announced that they had commenced operation in the state, attributed to the bloodletting that was happening, and that it resulted from a supremacy battle between local militia leaders. But there was a person who lost about 7 family members, and he said that it was not about militia, that these were armed headers that were responsible for the death that was going on. The OPS Force Commander, Major General Sunday Igbinumwahia, spoke to news, and he said that they had to address, so they called security agencies in the state and conveyed a meeting to announce to the public that 14-day ultimatum given to armed headers to leave the state or ranch their cattle had elapsed, and they were going to take, do something about it. But some other persons, so the argument has been, it's either the militia, some people are saying it's the militia that caused it, the heads are fighting against themselves, others are saying it's headers. Now, what happened in the case of the militia was that one of their heads went and kidnapped some persons and then requested them to pay a ransom. And by the time they paid about 5 million from the amount he requested, I think he requested about 50 million, they paid 5 million, he still ended up killing the people that he kidnapped. And so the other militia had to get another team of militia to support them, and they were fighting each other, which resulted to the death. But, they said there's a mass burial that is likely to be going on. The police said they are not aware of the mass burial. It's just been back and forth. I would like that, the security agencies have a meeting exactly to find out what is happening and help secure Benue State.
Okay, let me take the UCH. So, members of the Association of Resident Doctors, ARD, University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, yesterday began a 3-day warning strike over an assault of one of them. The president and vice president of the ARD UCH, Dr. John Oladapo, and Dr. Sunday Adegbite, in a statement said that they're going to take in this 2-day strike because they demand an apology from one of the relatives of a patient. So what happened was that the relatives came to the hospital and beat up one of the doctors who was treating a sickle cell, known sickle cell patient, and they beat him up. And although they called the security, but the man sustained some injury, so they are demanding that the family of this relative of this patient write an open apology in 2 major newspapers, and then also apologize to...
Only in Nigeria they see this.
Yeah.
No, it happens abroad too.
No.
Aggrieved family members.
It's rampant here.
But it's really
tearing out a doctor's clothes.
Smacking.
I have seen that, slapping a doctor while he's trying to, attend to your patient. He's not doing it fast enough. We should
People are agitated, and we should comport ourselves better. Anyway, this story is very, very annoying, and it will be painful for many Nigerians. Especially, Murad likes to say we should not blame government. This one lies in government. Bureaucracy and cash crunch is going to stall the e-passport issuance process. And this is where I like when ministers speak up, because the minister is saying, the Minister of Interior has created major reforms. One of the ministers I will see active They've been able to clear a 200,000 backlog, but now there's no money to get the booklets, that the booklets are stuck at customs because of duty. And why is there no money? Because people are paying for this passport, but they are paying into TSA accounts. And the revenue that goes to TSA accounts are being shared among 3 tiers of government. So they don't have the bureaucratic process of raising voucher to get the money that you generated. They said 50% of passports revenue comes in dollars. They are paying 132 for 32 booklet, for the 32-page booklet, and $230 being paid abroad. There are more outlets abroad issuing, and the dollar issuance of passports brings in a lot of foreign revenue. But they cannot. The government right now has not given customs the money they need to pay for custom duty, to pay DHL, to pay their vendors so that they can now have passports. So now we're going to have another set of backlog.
Hi.
Because all of the 32-page passport booklet have been exhausted.
The TSA
bureaucracy.
is not the problem.
Bureaucracy.
TSA is not the problem. Because if they are paid to them, that's where corruption comes in.
Yes.
So TSA is important. However, it's the bureaucracy of getting it from TSA to the hands of customs to actually...
In the time necessary,
time.
not to cause the backlog and shortage.
So we have a problem.
Everybody should do their work.
Yeah.
Let nobody become a stumbling block.
24 states can't pay salaries without federal government allocation, says budget. 30 killed in Benue, fresh attack, Senate to meet president. Blackout, FG threatens to revoke Disco's licenses. CBN printing of 22 trillion naira under Buhari fueled inflation, says Edu. Additional wins Awolowo Prize, says low productivity costs Africa 2.6 trillion naira yearly. Troops comb bushes for 101 abducted women and IDP homes burnt. Minimum wage, labor slashes demand to 500,000 naira. And FG foreign scholarships beneficiaries lament unpaid 8-month stipends. Okay.
Okay, I have the blackout. So the Minister for Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, went to X to go and lament that there's a poor supply of power across the country, despite what government is doing to tackle it. And he said that their findings revealed that some discos were intentionally not distributing electricity to end users in their various franchise areas. He said it is disheartening to witness the decline in power supply despite the concerted efforts to improve the situation. The ministry has been exerting pressure on the generating companies to enhance performance, resulting in increase in our generation to 4,000 megawatts. And despite this progress, certain distribution companies are failing to adequately distribute power supply by TCN. While there's also vandalism that is affecting infrastructure and all of that. And he has threatened, he said, something will be done. There will be consequence for that. He said, I am committed to holding all discos accountable for their performance. Willful non-performance will not be tolerated, and there will be severe consequences, including license revocation.
I'm so excited about it because this is like the way... No,
I don't understand.
The NIS minister had to speak out that this is what will cause backlog. I've done my work. The minister has been called out several times that power is not working.
But he said we were always there before now.
He
just deflected.
Take it away from me. It's not me. It's not me. It's them. Please, I identify them.
The severe consequences that started happening already. We have been in darkness since January.
It's deflecting. Take the pressure away from me and pass the ball. Not them. Don't be too impressed.
Okay.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us.
Adelabu is on the hot seat. There is nothing they can do now.
Until we see light.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to continue with the punch.
Yes, the major headline. So they said 24 states, at least 24 states of the Federation will not be able to pay workers' salary this year without having to wait for the federal allocation from the central government. And they said only 11 out of the 36 state governments of the Federation can independently pay their workers' salaries without depending on federal allocations. according to an analysis of the state governments, which approved budgets for the 2024 fiscal year, and it was the budget that handled it. And they said that the robust states with robust internal revenue are Lagos, Kano, Anambra, Edo, Enugu, Imo, Kaduna, Kwara, Osun, Ogun, and Zamfara. And they said the other 35 states have their budgets made public, except River State, which they've not been able to access, and it has also not been uploaded to the platform. And according to the analysis and the budget data, they said the 24 states cannot fund these salaries. They may either wait for federal allocation or borrow from the banks to be able, or financial institutions to be able to pay this. And that means that the respective wage bill of the affected states surpass their various IGR, which, raised concerns about productivity of their workers, efficiency, internal revenue generation, which I expect the governors will be looking into right now. Now, the other 24 states are Bayelsa, Ondo, Yobe, Sokoto, Taraba, Plateau, Oyo, Nasarawa, Kogi, and the other ones. So they had said initially that before the removal of fuel subsidy, governors were struggling they were actually borrowing money to be able to pay salaries. But after the removal of subsidy and the last FAC allocation, they say for over 7 years, they had not received that amount of money before. They really got quite enough. And it was surprising that after that, because they had said that with this allocation, they would not be able to, they won't need to borrow. But it's now surprising that they are asking for about 27 billion to be able to pay after they had received, huge amounts of money in the FAC allocation. And the banks that really borrowed them the most in the first quarter of last year were, I think, Access Bank did the most, then Fidelity Bank and Zenith Bank. So I don't know what happened to the FAC allocation. I think they need to be explicit on how they had spent the money and why they need to borrow so much again to be able to pay salaries in the next budgets that they are preparing.
So troops have begun a search for 101 internally displaced persons abducted on Sunday by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in the Gamburu, Gala, and Dikwa local governments of Borno State. Punch was there on Wednesday and found that the insurgents late Tuesday night actually invaded the newly built resettlement camp for the IDPs, setting about 30 houses ablaze. The abduction took place, and the Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Taha, was speaking. He said that they had dispatched several officials to the village to assess the situation before they can actually issue any official statement. Said the insurgents abducted 53 girls and 48 boys who strayed out of the IDP camp to fetch firewood, and that was when they were abducted by these people. How can the 101 people go and look for firewood? I'm not sure that's probably accurate. But hopefully we should get some more confirmed stories from there as soon as the commissioner is able to get investigation ongoing and get something official to convey to the press.
No. This story is very important. So the federal government's foreign scholarship beneficiaries have lamented unpaid 8-month stipends. They said that these people are some of them are in Russia, Morocco, Algeria, China, Hungary, and other countries. And they are under the bilateral education agreement scholarship. The government is meant to pay them stipends every month. They said for some of them, it has had their consequences, such as being evicted from their apartments. The people in China said they have not gotten stipends since April, May 2023. Some people that were in Russia said the last payment they got covered up until August, and no payment has gotten to them till now. They said they are forced to navigate financial hardship and miss the pressure for academical stress. That they know they are aware of the current challenges Nigeria is facing back home, but the terms of the exchange program did not allow them to take any jobs to aid themselves.
Wow.
The government needs to be decisive. Come back home. You can't afford this right now.
Are we funding
Fix
this
them
or
into,
not?
They can't afford to. I don't think it is.
We already funded the school fees.
I don't think it's the most important in order of priority of what we should be putting
money into
dollars that we are looking for as a country into. So it's a conversation of either you say they should come back home because they can't work, or you rearrange your bilateral arrangements
so that
to say that they can work, so they can sort themselves and leave them to fend for themselves. Besides, people are smart enough. You know that there are other ways you can sort yourself in the midst of these things.
You don't have to wait for government to tell you to work.
Exactly.
It's Daily Sun. Bell tolls for Edo Deputy Governor. Tinubu, African leaders, diplomats, others hail African Development President additional on our Leadership Award. Court vacates order sacking Abure as LP chairman. Open grace in Abuja to end soon, says Wike. Killing of farmers, Senate takes case to Tinubu. Imo rescue 15 hostages in Zamfara. Appeal court bars EFCC from retrying Kalu. Bloody day in Benue, family of 738 others killed in gang clashes. And tension as Bayelsa community shuts shell flow station. Okay.
Okay, I have the insecurity. The emotion under matters of urgent public importance moved by Senator Emmanuel Dende of Benue State. He's representing a certain villages, Kwande, Ukum, Logo, Kasina, Ala councils in Benue State. And it says that no fewer than 50 persons have been killed in fresh attacks in several of those communities. The Senate resolved during that motion, after deliberating on it, that they will be visiting the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on this issue. They said other communities affected as recently as March 5 are Tuluv, Borikio, Kundav, Ugbam, Uyam, and several other communities, a lot of them. And also supporting that motion was the Chief Whip of the Senate, Mohammed Ndume, Senator Ndume, who said that the House is tired of observing a minute silence on all this. These farmers, 50 persons that were attacked, are farmers, and the continued attacks or killing of farmers by herdsmen should be stemmed. They said they've continued to have outcry without seeing any, clear action by the executive on this, and so they'll be taking the matter straight direct to meet with the president.
So the Nigerian Army and Navy troops on Tuesday neutralized 5 armed men in the firefight at identified IPOB ESN camps in Ejemekuru in Oguta local government area of Imo State. So this was in a statement by the Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, in Abuja yesterday. And he said that the troops overpowered the armed separatist resistance with overwhelming firepower and recovered a significant cache of dangerous weapons. He said the weapons recovered included 1 AK-47 rifle, 2 pump-action semi-automatic rifles, 1 locally fabricated guns, 2 magazines, 3 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition. And they also recovered motorcycles, 2 mobile handsets, and a camouflage jungle hat. Now, the troops also deployed for counter-insurgency operations in the Northwest. They said they successfully rescued 15 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. And, they heard about it, they swiftly responded, and they were able to mobilize their people to do that. So the idea is that they were able to recover rescue all the kidnapped victims unharmed. That's one. And also, this is a fight against insurgency, and the Nigerian army, the Nigerian troops are really looking to a place where we'll get to that state with less insecurity issues across the state, and they're doing their job. And we are glad that we are seeing and hearing what they are doing as well. Well done.
Okay, so we haven't heard from Minister of FCT for a while.
Has he said something?
Is that your story?
Yes, that's my story. Well, I started myself.
Oh.
Yesterday told worried residents that efforts are being made to end open grazing and indiscriminate grazing within the city center. I was speaking specifically to the Belgian visitor he had yesterday in Abuja.
Ambassador.
I'm trying to even get the name right. So yeah, Ambassador Daniel Bertstrand. He was speaking to him yesterday, assuring him that he said that he had initiated multifaceted discussions with different relevant stakeholders on the need to end roaming of cattle in the city. He said fighting insecurity in the FCT demands quite a bit of approaches, which the administration was already adopting to defeat criminality. This obviously is an
So I was in Abuja less than 2 weeks ago. It is bad. Like a very nice residential estate, beautiful layout, and you will pause in the middle of the road for the cattle to pass. Oh. And they say those heads of cattle are owned by powerful men. Wike, you have your work cut out for you. Do you know what they tried fighting? That was how kidnapping started.
Cattle are feeding at Yanoba.
No.
Express.
No. This is Abuja. This is the capital. You cannot be in
this
the
is
capital
Lagos. It's
of
not
Nigeria, and you are driving through the capital foreigners are coming to your place and they are stopping on the road for the cattle to pass, it's also a major security threat.
Could also be...
If you're in the US and you're traveling in the interiors and you find cattle, do you react?
Not on the road.
I'm
Not
just
in the
saying.
middle of the road, though. No.
I'm not
And then especially
It's up
because
north now.
it's not up north, it's
still believe
capital
that we
territory,
sometimes
federal capital
overreact
territory.
to
The entire federal capital territory should not be anywhere where cattle...
City
We can
center.
allow that in other states, but not
Yes,
the
not at
capital.
the
Center.
city.
Okay, I hear you, but I also understand that it can also be something we add that is different about us, you know.
Like, we're not only
Africa, you
people,
drive in
but
Africa, you see
their criminality.
Yeah, so
attached
the criminal
to it.
parts of it, yeah.
Yes.
When it comes to national security issue, then you have to consider. But I hear both sides of the argument clearly. Vanguard, our final paper for this morning. Bloodbath in Benue, 50 killed as militia gangs go to war. Tinubu has clear strategy to reform economy, says Bagudu. FG threatens to revoke disco's licenses over poor power supply. We are determined to consolidate our 2023 superior performances NPA. NLC-TUC issues 7-day ultimatum to Soludo over workers' welfare. Edo Guba Sheibu served impeachment notice as Oshomole denies involvement. Okay, which...
You didn't take major headline.
Oh, the major headline. Thierry Sanusi, I thought I would die before Wigwe. You took that story. Go ahead,
Yes,
please.
so the former emir of Kano was at the night of tributes, continued night of tributes for Herbert Wigwe, the late CEO of Access Bank, and he was saying that due to the kindness of the late Wigwe towards him, people thought he owned Access Bank and that Wigwe and Aigimokwe, they were fronting for him. He said he described how he heard about his passing, but he talked deeply. This was a nice read for me, that, you know, when he had his travels in Kano, Herbert would always show up for him. He said when he had his troubles, he had to set up a trust. He put all he had into a trust, and he put Herbert in charge of it, thinking, you're much younger, you'll outlive me. And so he never expected this, and he was crying. He broke down in tears 3 separate times while trying to talk, and had people comforting him, but he couldn't get it together. There is he had to use the Babari guy to cover him, because, you know, he kept giving his speech in so much tears. He talked about how how Herbert had showed up for his family when he needed to leave Kano with a private jet, flew them to Lagos, put them up in a hotel, rented and paid for their accommodation. He said even the accommodation they live in presently in Lagos is funded by Herbert. And, you know, so for him, it was a tough, you know, experience.
And I mean, the tributes were really painful.
As in,
the daughter,
said,
good man.
and then he said something. He said when he heard of his passing, he knew that now Nigerians will know about Herbert the human. They used to know the CEO, the banker. Now, and this is showing up.
Same thing what the daughter said, that, you know, that you don't know the daughter of who you are. And now she said now she knows, because of the obviously the impact it's had on people. And it was really was good to see her talk, because I could see the pain in her voice.
I felt for her.
And it was really painful.
Losing father, mother,
And
brother.
even
The parents, what about the parents?
That one's another book on its own.
They did make conversation.
Yeah.
You know, but it was really, he's so rest in peace. Very sad.
Man.
I think he's gonna be
Lost
very
a gem.
Yes, it will vary tomorrow. Let me just say this. They said that when you're thinking of your future, they say think about what people will say when you die. Always imagine what people will say when you die, and write down what you'd like them to say about you, and live so that people would have those things to say about you. Burials are a reminder for us to be living our lives with intentionality and add value, so that when we go, the comments would be positive, not that, oh, they stole this money, he's a corrupt person, and all of that, which we can say about some people.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, in the last few weeks, many Nigerians have been mourning Herbert Wigwe, his wife, and their son, and who died in a helicopter crash in the U.S. And it's been such a painful experience for many Nigerians, loved ones, family members. In the last 24 hours, there was a night of tributes that many people came from all over the business world, came in to pay their last respects to him and his entire family. And the night of tributes had quite a bit of high-level businessmen being there. So Dangote was there to speak. The vice president was there. One of his closest friends, Aye Gimokwede, was also there. The Emir Sanusi was there. His children spoke. And even his PA, who was the last person to see him alive, also had a few words to say. It was an opportunity to even have an understanding of what happened. According to the PA, from what he said at the night of tribute, he said that they had come in fact, Mr. Bimbo, who followed them, he was one that asked that he wanted to see Herbert. And he kept trying to let me know that, listen, he's up and down. He's not going to be in one place at the same time. But he insisted that he would stick around for him. Anyways, they came into the U.S., into Palm Springs. And when they arrived, the idea was to go from Palm Springs to their final destination. And then they had their bags. They couldn't put their bags in a helicopter. So they had to get a vehicle to carry to convey the suitcases to their final destination. But he said he was supposed to enter the helicopter, but he realized that as a PA, when I get there, I still have to wait. I can't sleep until those luggages arrive.
Yeah.
That's my job to ensure. So instead of going on the helicopter, let me go with the luggages and stay with the luggages so that we go and arrive at the same time. And that's what happened. And that's how he did not enter the helicopter. He said that even while he was on the plane with Herbert, he asked him, are you sure you want to enter this helicopter? He said, yes, that this is America. They have GPS, they have all the technology to support, to allow a helicopter like this to fly at this time of night. So that's what saved his life. And obviously, he was the last person to see him alive, and he told him, safe flight. And then he started calling and then found out what happened. Really, really heartbreaking, I would say. But I think also what the night of tributes also played out is how at that level, Nigerians can be one. You know how football brings us together as a nation. We don't remember ethnicity. We don't remember religion. We don't remember tribe when it comes to football.
Death also.
Death brings us together. We don't remember all the politicking. We don't remember whose party you're from, which tribe you belong to. We all come together as Nigerians. And I think as much as we like to pay tributes to this man, we might have to also use this as an opportunity to remind ourselves of our oneness as a people. I don't know how that plays out.
So for me, there are two things that you cannot change in life. You are born, you will die. When it will happen, how it will happen, we pray for a peaceful exit. But it's an appointment every human being will keep. It's the appointment day of death. And I think that it's always important that when we are setting goals or planning for our life, we plan about what I want people to say when I go. When I'm gone, what would they say about me? And it's not true that people don't remember the hurts or division when people die. People do. People talk about if a bad person on his burial day, they will yimu on his grave. They do. They would talk about how, you see, all the money, did you carry it and go? When I was asking for this one, when I was saying for this one, like people still talk bad about the dead, even though we all culturally know that we shouldn't. Yet, the death burial ceremonies remind us of how our life is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Our life is an opportunity. It is just grace. It is just grace that we are all enjoying being alive and help us to cherish the life that we have per time. Herbert's testimonials were touching. I think that, like you said during the newspaper review, was seeing Herbert the human being than Herbert the CEO and business icon. And it's easy for us to look at business. Like, I've never thought about Dangote and thought about him as a human being, having friends. It was surprising to see Dangote cry, because we just see him and we don't see that he's a human being. We just see him as this very rich man that owns everything. But
whose world is perfect.
Whose world is perfect. But we're now seeing him and seeing that this is a human being. No? He has wife, he has children, he has friends, there's pain, there are challenges. So for me, it was interesting to see Herbert beyond the iconic CEO and innovative young person that revolutionized the banking sector in Nigeria. And once again, our heart goes out to his family. and friends left behind.
Oh, I really hope this consoles his family members, his parents, particularly his children, because just as Tokwe said, it's not everybody who dies and people hear good things about them. And it's also very nice to see what people do. You know, at death, you just, like, I remember we're sitting at home after my dad passed, and a stranger walked into the house. And he kept saying, "Where's this Baba? Where's this?" I heard that, I just came to respect. That one left. Nobody knew who he was. Then another person came, but he came with a student of my father, a Muslim, an Arabic student of my dad. And the man then said, his businesses had been funded by my father. All 5 of us were seated, my mom seated. And it was a secret sadaqah Baba did for him. And the man said, "I usually bring back the fund, but you ask, how is your business doing? If I say it's not enough, doing well enough, you say, take it back and make sure your family is cared for. So I have his funds, but I would like to return it." And so we had to let it go. So it's always nice to see the person you've known after their death with the kind of life they lived. You know, death reveals it all. Imagine Emir Sanusi all the way in Kano. Kano foul, you know, and, you know, Herbert in Lagos, who could have just been, "I'm the CEO, I don't have the problems you have, I don't care who you are, I don't know you," and all of that. But he was the one helping him out. I did not hear a northerner providing a residence and accommodation for his family. It was Herbert Wigwe, who's from Rivers, who is doing it for him, who is the friend that he could reach out to the extent that, you know, an Islamic leader that he is, because he's the leader of the Tijaniya movement, putting up a trust. You know, the way Islamic trusts are done is different from the way normal trusts are done. But for him to put up a trust and think, some people say, don't put a non-Muslim, and think, this is the person I can trust. He says he was so sure that even if he died penniless, Herbert would take care of his kids. You know, crossing the divides that we always hear about. The team, you know, takes us beyond all these things that we carry around. You know, I have more than you, I'm not less than you, I'm not more than you. People should start looking at the most important things, which is, you know, and trust, kindness, you know, the ability to be able to depend on someone, whether or not the person has more than you or you have more than the person, is something unique. And these are the lessons that we should take home from here. I'm happy that his daughter can see the extent of his work and his kindness, and I hope that the children surviving and his parents receive much more than he gave when he was alive. It's important because, you know, people make speeches.
Then they disappear.
Then they disappear. Experience.
Come to PCO.
You know,
So it was sad, especially for my husband, because he worked very closely with him for, I think, about a year plus or so, and he knew him one-on-one. He would call his name, they would go for meetings, they would go for, you know, transactions together. And when, in fact, for like a week, my husband could not do much work. He felt like somebody from his family had died. And I did not understand the relationship. And I kept saying, but you're no longer with him. You have left working with him and everything. He said, you don't understand the extent to which this man is good. You don't understand to the extent with which this man impacted everybody that worked with him. You don't get it, BC, you don't get it. You know, and then when I heard, you know, some of the things people said, I sort of started understanding his kind of person. And this is just showing that at the end of the day that everything is vanity. Those things that we are constantly chasing and pushing and fighting for, at the end of the day, nobody is getting out of here alive. We'll still leave them behind. And now the question will be, how do I live my life? How do I live my life in a way that I fulfill my purpose? I looked at, you know, all the work that he has done. Aside from the work, which is being a CEO, being an enigma in the banking industry, he was also able to help people genuinely. He was also able to lift people up. And that's, for me, why we are here, basically. We're just here to love and learn how to love. And he, as far as I'm concerned, had fulfilled that in his purpose on life. And no matter what happens, his name will always be etched in the sands of time, that he came, he showed up, he appeared, and he left. And we can never forget him. So my thoughts afterwards was, how am I living my life? Honestly,
Jam question,
how am I living my
very
life
touching.
in a way that I am fulfilling the reason that I am here, in a way that I am impacting? I may not have, the kind of clout that he has. I may not have the kind of money and resources that he has, but in my little way, what am I doing with the people around me, while I'm living here? And also, you mentioned while you were giving your first analogy, and you said that everybody was united. You just showed the oneness. Nobody was thinking religion. Nobody was thinking anything. And that also tells us that we have always used religion and ethnicity and tribalism to divide ourselves, to divide the core of ourselves. And like they said, that religion is the opium of the masses. It's used to control. So when next you're sitting down to fight somebody who does not believe in your belief, ask yourself, what exactly is separating me and this person? Are we not one? Are we not supposed to be one? We can have our different beliefs and our different traditions and different cultures, but we are one. And allow that humanity to, aid us when we are relating with people.
So, but there's a tough part of this conversation that many of us have just refused to discuss. And it's the fact that this issue of death, I don't want to be very morbid this morning because, but sometimes when things like this happen, you have to go back to this Almighty. That, okay, yes, Herbert may have completed his assignment because he has impacted the world and done this, but his son did not deserve to be here. His wife also probably did not deserve to be in that place. So it also is an opportunity for us to also rethink, because sometimes you ask God, why? Why would a young man, obviously, he's the heir of this empire. He's somebody who is young, just has his entire life ahead of him. And you're thinking, okay, why?
How do you know who deserves? How do you, so the thing is, we can't remember the time we signed. It's like products on the shelf. Every product has a different expiry date. The corned beef would expire differently from the sausage and from the sweet corn and from the baked beans, depending on the shelf life each package comes with. And as human beings, because this is not really who we are, this skin, this body has a shelf life. But when we come here, we forget. So you may sit down and say, this child died at 10. This child did not live. You don't know the expiry dates the child came with. So one of the ways that we used to just make people not feel so, or ask too many questions, why? Even our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ died at 33. 33 at this age, you say that's an untimely death, right? But he fulfilled his purpose and he left. So one of the ways that you help people to understand that if it's not your time, you will not go. You go when it is your time, and that means that your presence here has expired. And that does not mean it's the end of everything. You have moved on to somewhere else, and you may likely come back when you want to. But for you to just feel that, okay, this is the time, or this is not the time, is not for us to, we really can't tell when is your time. And we can't also tell that this person has died or timely or not, because we do not know, or we cannot remember when we signed that we are living here. I had a friend who lost the father sometime, and the father was quite a very young man, and we had a conversation. I don't like to talk to people when they are bereaved, because I'm very careful of, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to grieve with people, right? And I also watch where you are. There are some people, you give some information, they would not be able to, accept it, or they would feel you're not empathizing enough with them. So I like to run away, but I had to call her because I had worked with her before, and I know where her mindset is, and I know that she understands some deep things. So I called her, and we started having a conversation, and I was asking, what was your father doing? What sort of work did he do? How did he die? Blah, 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 blah. And we got into that conversation, and I said, this man has lived. And I know that it's painful because you still have younger ones who are looking up to him to cater for them. But just look at it in a way that if he does not go at the time he's meant to go, he may also truncate the destiny of those people. They may need to experience this actually to be able to move on to where they're supposed to be. We just found a way to, and at the end of the conversation, I was like, of all the people that have been coming to talk to me, you hit something. You hit something in me. So it's gloomy. It's a bad thing. We don't like the experience. Nobody likes to die. We want to stay here forever. but we cannot dodge it.
There was a quick story that was very similar to Buttress, that a man whose father sort of died prematurely. There are many people that have set up sickle cell foundations that have in turn saved hundreds of lives simply because they lost their own child prematurely. People have set up foundations to help deal with crisis that they lost someone they love too. Somebody can ensure that we are able to, maybe somebody from his lineage would ensure we have less helicopter accidents, or we have better protection for them because of what happened. So there is good from every bad that happens if we learn how to deal with it. I also wanted to talk about the fact that when we face death, it shouldn't be something that we'll be scared of. Because I know many people, when they see, be like, I don't want to put obituary in my house. I don't want to watch a story about somebody dying prematurely. I don't know why. It should remind us to be intentional about the quality of life we're living and the impact we are having. So that we understand the fact that, I want people to talk like this when I go. I don't want them to come and only like 3 people can talk, or only 2 people can talk about personal relationship with me. I want there to be a long list of those that will say, I don't have a platform, but I'll use social media. Because there were some people that are using social media to share their own story because they didn't get to be on stage, and they were talking about their personal experiences. Former employees of Access Bank and current employees of Access Bank, that they will never, they're not big enough to get on the podium, but they still said, I would use on my own Twitter platform to share about my story, how it pushed me to be excellent, or how this one. So it goes beyond the big people that will see us and the small people that will see us. Mariah, I know you want to go and talk about the controversy.
No. I want to hear from Nima's thoughts on the...
how that's okay.
Yeah, because I know, because, again, as I said, it was really, really
like this
painful. You know, nobody wants to accept that 3 members of the family
died at once.
This is
like, what did I do to deserve this?
Our hearts really go out to the entire family, the children that remain, the girl and the boy. We didn't hear from the young man, but we heard from the daughter. I guess he wasn't really... but I think we see things differently. I was going to see if you want to say something concerning that.
I don't want to sound too deep, because I have experienced grief dealing with it. And one thing I've learned is that in death is grace. I've seen people who are sick, really, really sick. I've seen people who are dealing with things they'd rather not. And for those who die without experiencing it, it's a blessing. You know, so I have come to accept some kind of, what I would consider early death. For me, I didn't think I never thought my dad would die at that age. He died. I never thought. I thought, because we lived long in the family line where I'm from. My grandfather was 106 when he died. So I thought, that was how it would be. But I've come to accept the death of my loved one as grace on him, as a blessing at the time he left, and as a blessing and a lesson to his kids, for us to see things better, for us to broaden up. So I am also hoping that with time, the lessons of the timing and his death will come to his loved ones.
Let me take Ayobami from Alaba, then we're going to break. Ayobami from Alaba, thanks for calling. You're live.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, we lost that. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll try to conclude on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing Herbert Wigwe, the family, the passing, and the funeral that is planned for tomorrow. One of the things that we can but observe is the fact that the pastor of his church, which he attended, seemed to be they were not present at the night of tribute, and we do have the reports that it seems the family of his parents had disinvited them for the funeral following the birthday celebration of the pastor's wife, Shiju Iluyomade. She had a birthday party a week after that was quite elaborate. I'm not even sure I saw Tony Elumelu at that tribute either, because he was also recorded in the video. So I didn't see him at the night of tribute either. But what are your thoughts on the fact that all that happened, the drama, I know we avoided that conversation during that period because it was just a very uneasy, it's not hard, it's not easy for ladies of not to see a conversation and talk about it. you know. But in that one, the producers really wanted us to talk about it, but I just felt felt quite uneasy to have that conversation. Same thing happened when the Kunle Afolayan story. It's just there's an uneasy conversation that we have matured to a level that certain things
not to feed.
We shouldn't be feeding certain things, you know. So I just felt that it wasn't necessary for us to take those topics. But in this regard, the tributes have come. I would have loved to see them at least acknowledged because he was a member of their church. But what are your thoughts on the whole drama that happened? Let me start with you.
They say, oh, they cry, they see road. It is a non-saying. Any sukun oriran. You people have it too. We have it.
We have it, yeah.
That, you know. So the grieving is also watching. Who is grieving with me? Who is mocking me? I remember my neighbor when she lost her daughter. Her daughter was quite young. I think she died at 11. And I remember her taking her to school between 7 and that age. And her own blood sister came. Immediately she heard that she had lost a child, she showed up and she said, leave me. You come laugh me. You come laugh me. Because of how they grew up, you know, sibling rivalry. She didn't expect. So who is in grief is also looking. How are people reacting to what I have lost? How do people measure what I have lost? And when you belittle that time and say,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Life goes on. You know, some people joke about it. Life goes on. You have killed your father. You know, those kind of. You need to know how the relationship was, and how you would comport yourself. For me, that pastor is the most insensitive human being. Because when we read the support that she had, waiting day for birthday, you can have it the year after. If there is life, you can still celebrate it. It's not like it's cast in stone. It's not like that was the solution to COVID-19. Worse things have happened. What if it was her husband who passed that money? She had the birthday owed me. You know? So I just felt they should be disinvited. Because, you know, this is not like a Muslim burial where we bury immediately and people will not be saying, because he has been laid to rest. This one, the body is still cold, not rested yet. And you go on as if everything is normal. You go on bubbly. You go on, even if it is your personality, there should be people who are discerning around you who will be telling you, not at this time. You know, because the worst case is that he is survived by both parents. Hi. It's the height of it for me. It's supposed to be the other way around, but now there's a vacuum for his parents. You know them, you see them, you can't just continue life as if nothing happened.
Let me take this call. Good morning from Pastor Dari, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning to the ladies in the house. You're talking about lesson learned at the night of tribute from late Herbert Wigwe. We should live as human beings devoid of sentiments because life is present. We should first and foremost see ourselves as human beings before your religion, before your tribe. When we live based on that, I think we are good to go. They will place more value on ourselves. But in this climb, where we have sentiments, that is where we are where we are today. When we're growing up, I don't think there was this kind of religious divide, tribal divide. So if we can see ourselves first and foremost as human beings, I think Nigeria will be better for us. Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much. I didn't hear him, but I'm sure.
So he said we should live as human beings before we thrive, before we find it. We should first always remember that we are humans and live as that.
This was a tough conversation. I actually had this conversation like almost argumentative with my husband, who was of the opinion that no, they shouldn't have done the birthday and all of that. Was very insensitive and all those stuff. And I typically like to defend. I like to defend like, oh, let's take it from their point of view. You don't know what has gone down. You don't know, maybe they had gotten permission. I was making every form of excuse to just sort of like cover up for the fact that this is Koti Oda Oda. You know, having such a celebration, if there is a close relationship, as we have heard, there's a close relationship, is wrong, is an Nkoti Oda Oda situation. So when the drama came out, I thought that maybe they had discussed with the family members and explained that, oh, these are the things, we just have to go ahead and do the party. It doesn't mean any form of disrespect, and sort of like informed them. But when I saw that the ceremony, service of songs, the entire, everything we've been seeing over the past few days did not in any way involve his pastors And these people are his known pastors. He is a known member of the church.
Yeah.
It just looks like there's a chasm between between the family and the church, and the church could have handled it better. They're meant to know. The church is meant to know better.
Yeah.
The church is meant to know better. A spiritual leader is meant to be far more self-aware. These are mistakes that maybe your driver can make or anybody on the road can make. But when you are a spiritual leader, your self-awareness level should be so high that you will not be caught doing. And in the worst case scenario, you would apologize when you find out something like that, because you know that what you do impacts a larger number of people.
Impact, yeah.
So if you find that, you have done something wrong, you have brought insults to the name of God, to your church, the next level is to say, I am so sorry, openly apologize, because you openly celebrated. You would openly apologize to the church, to the body of Christ, to the family, to say that it's not an apology because I want you to come back to the church and do this ceremony in my church, but I want to apologize because I respect this person called.
I know the RCCG took responsibility, because even I think all the procession, everything is, I think because their region is under our region, I believe. I think my husband is also a choir, so I remember they were still all rehearsing for this service. So I remember that even his parents' church is an RCCG church. So I think their own parish pastor would be the one handling the funeral. But I guess it's just we're trying to understand everybody's angle to this, and the fact that it wasn't as if they don't love this person, but according to in defense of her, it's more like this is something that was difficult for us to move.
Action proves moves.
Yes.
So,
move.
Romans 12:15. Rejoice with those that rejoice and mourn with those that mourn. It's as simple as that. You cannot have somebody who you've built a relationship with, who have been in your church, who is like your flock, your sheep, and something bad happens to that person and you are caught rejoicing. You have negated the scriptures on that. They should go and read it. Romans 12:15, right? I found it very insensitive. I really didn't want to talk about it because I didn't know how to
be nice about it.
Be nice about it. It was very, very insensitive for a spiritual leader, like Tokme said, for somebody who is holding the other flock members accountable. Because for everything you do, and I'm sure a lot of people in that space, in that church, may have been displeased, but they don't know how to say it because it's not done for any reason. That's one. Number two, the parents have a right, because of what has happened, to make their decision and say, we are no longer going to have the ceremony of the burial ceremony in this church. We are taking them to our home church based off of what had happened. People need to be allowed to find closure the way they want to find closure. So it's possible that they were aggrieved with what happened and how insensitive the pastor party, birthday celebration and all of that was. And they said, okay, these people don't even care about us. They don't even care about what we're feeling. And if he's very close to his parents, some of the contributions he may have been making for the church, the parents will be aware. He'll be telling them, I was the one that I helped them to do this. They'll be praying for him. God bless you. You are doing for this parish.
Yoruba parents. Wait, so you didn't know if it were Yoruba parents, they might not have done that.
Why?
Bring the service to their own church.
Why would they do that?
Another church.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
maybe a neutral church, not your church.
So people should be allowed to find closure the way they deem fit. We are the human beings that made the laws on how we want to survive, right? When is the child that dies, the parents do not want to see, the parents don't want to know where they are buried, the parents don't want, but these things are changing because some people are saying that I should be able to see, it doesn't matter, it has happened. Allow me see where this child is buried. Allow me partake. It's my child. I want closure. I want to be able to look at the grave and be asking the questions. Why did you leave me now? We had plans. We had this. We had that. Allow people have closure the best way they can. There is no law that is written that you must take it away from you. We found those laws ourselves to survive. And survival is evolving right now. People are surviving in different ways. So I don't fault them. They could also have done it out of anger. That, for these people to come to this level where they are insensitive towards what we are going through, I don't want to have anything to do with them, and it's okay. By the time they come out of it, it's fine.
Let me take Ade. I'll come to you, Nima. Ade is holding from London. I'm sorry. Good morning, Ade. Are you there?
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Muraya Afolabi Brown. You held me for 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm calling from
7
London now.
minutes.
He's pound sterling. You're
You know,
you're all right.
dollar exchange now. You know the dollar exchange.
You're fine.
Sorry about that.
I think I concur with Elijah. You see, my own view is totally different. I don't blame that woman who celebrated her birthday. I blame the man. If you are in charge of your house, you have the final say. You tell your wife, this birthday is not going to happen. And that's the final. But you are blaming the woman. I don't blame the woman. She's married. You blame the husband. Because now what they should do is this. All the dollars that man has contributed to that church, they should give it to charity. That church will remove that dollar and give it to less privileged people and share it with them. That is the only way out to solve the problem. So they cannot consume that man's thousands of dollars contribution to that church, and they did this to that man after he has left. No, they should refund all the money and give it to the needy people. So and that man should beg God to forgive him because
thank you very much, Ade.
His own authority.
All right, thank you.
There was something I want to quickly say before you did not allow me finish. I remember when Davido lost his son, right? Wizkid was supposed to have a concert. He cancelled. He just cancelled that concert because he wanted to. He was in tune with the moment of what. And I know that they are not very close.
They might be.
They might be. We don't know. Yes, publicly they are not very close. But out of respect and out of understanding the pain my colleague is going through at the moment, he cancelled his own concert. He put it on hold till, that phase was a bit over before he went back to do his. And this is somebody who we would say he's in the world. He's not a Christian. Even the Bible has said it, the children of the world are wiser than the children of light. So we must learn to be human beings, first of all. We must learn to be compassionate, first of all. We must learn to sometimes keep our needs and desires for the greater good, for the image and the personality and the Christianity that you claim to uphold. Some things you would have to, find a way to go around it because of where tomorrow when you stand up and you are preaching to somebody, they want to see your action and not necessarily what you are saying.
Take Festus from K2. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, sir.
The Bible has already said it all. By their fruits,
I know them.
we shall know them. So, it is an occasion like this that will make us to know the type of pastor that is pastoring them. If this thing has not happened, you will not know, what the man is offering them. Totalness, putting your wife's whatever above members. But it has happened, and life goes on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You might be going to say something.
So what this pastor did is not something strange to me. I've experienced it within family.
Wow.
Yes. So when somebody is alive and they have all that people need, people come for their needs. It doesn't necessarily mean love. It is that shows you the real intent of the mind. The parents probably have put them as close family, hence this reaction. I experienced it from family, blood. And the excuse was that I didn't travel home, so they couldn't even commiserate with us. We didn't take the body home. And so everybody just stayed their stay and enjoyed their lives. And so I'm allowed to react my own way too, which is, of course, I can be angry, sad, happy. I want to keep a relationship with you. I don't want to keep. It depends on how I want to react. But there's a saying that a parent should not know the end of their children. So we have African customs all the way to my place in the Southwest, where the youth, the age mates of the child will be the one to deal with the laying to rest and all of that. So the parents do not know to see it. It's like it's something that
prayer point.
Yes, that increases the grief. It increases the grief of the parents to know. I have always never seen where a person, I saw once was an Easterner whose child died, and my parents got up immediately. My father arranged the burial, and then his kinsmen came and said, "You want to use the dead body," you know, because they thought, and they buried the child right in front of the house. So the grieving mom, after they have all gone back to their businesses, my parents had to now deal with the grieving mom every morning sitting at the grave of her child. So I've seen that one, but you know, it's not a good thing to experience. But I think this is just this tribute. I don't think the parents are dealing with that aspect. I think they're just, you know, just hearing.
I guess, as I said, it's just based on what people are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, why would you choose your own church? That is rather choose a neutral church. That's different. It's a different conversation. But let me take Aramide. There's another part I was going to come to. Aramide, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'm here. Good
You're
morning.
live. Go ahead, please.
It's the first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
I'm happy that I was able to get through to you ladies this time, but on such a sad note. The death of this man, even though I do not even know him on a personal level, is something that is so tragic. So I cannot even imagine that the church, the family that is calls its own, do not see it that way. Because if they did, I am not sure that Sharon West should have been allowed to go on under any guise. I felt bad about it, and I have been wondering that when the ladies talk about this, would this matter for them? Yes. It's not my mind, because I want your view back to that. Yeah. I was always like, won't this matter ever come up? So I'm happy to do for it is necessary. There's no other way to follow. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much, Aramide. As I said, we struggled.
Yeah.
When it happened, it was brought on my table. I said, it's a bit early. Let's let it breathe for a few days. Even after that, it was just too difficult to
But
take.
I even gave a lot of excuses. I just wanted to assume. I wanted to just
Assume the
assume
best
that
case scenario.
there was a conversation that took place.
Yeah.
That there was an agreement that, okay, you can do your party. This and it depends.
Doesn't matter.
You know, like let life continue.
Yeah.
So I felt like there might have been that conversation that this person has gone. You cannot.
Yes,
exactly.
He was 57. You're doing your 60th.
So there
I don't
are
understand.
on many levels. I was exercising the day my very good friend lost her dad. Like I was on the street. So one of our friends just called me that her father died this morning. I just got home. It wasn't a conversation. I just called my husband and I said, I'm going to travel right now. He said, call the driver. It was not a conversation. That is life. That it is you know people that are your people.
Yeah.
When they stand by you,
Yes.
that is a test of of the people that have your back. And so it is extremely important that we say what is right, what is wrong is wrong. However, we have a sample because we have conversations here, and it's very, very tense for me to have conversation around somebody that is grieving, something that is death-related, those kind of things, because, you know, we don't want to point finger for it's coming back to you. Yeah. So I am also in that space of struggling on what to say. But just a few days ago, we took a story about another person who was grieving, who felt slighted, and took to social media. These people felt slighted as well. They didn't take social media.
They took action.
They took action. We need to be mature when you are seeing that I am in pain, but I'm not going to let you mock my pain.
Yes.
I'll not come outside and let myself become the talk of the town. So the parents could have come outside and say, we are not, this party was horrible. The children come outside and say, but you will see the level of maturity in how they handle it. Even as we are grieving, we must be able to protect our name.
Let me take this call from Lucky. Lucky's calling from Abuja. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. I want to agree with Topman. You know, I think the best thing to do right now is just to apologize. That because there's a spirituality, there's a connection there. Though we've not heard from the parents, everything here is just on the social media. Whether they are painting, whether they are adding to me, you know, saying that in quotes, like the president of that church, which we don't know. I was like, was it that I was going telling people I pay so amount of whatever tithe and, you know, offering. So what the best thing to do now is for the church, whether it's coming from the headquarters or it's coming from that particular parish or the region, we can just go out and just apologize so that this thing can, you know, just be laid to rest. Everybody knows that it is not proper, you know, when someone dies not minding, the caliber of people that were there at that party. And knowing the kind of person she is also someone that people would want to put together. Maybe they've done that a long time ago, you get. So, and I mean, they were just supposed to postpone that thing.
That's
Can I just say something? Our pastors are seen as kabiosi, like they are almost seen next to God. You cannot question these people. My pastor posted something recently. I was in church when it happened. He came to church, spoke about how eagles are the highest flying birds in the world. Somebody sent him a text message, a message to it later. The next, I don't know how it happened, but the next Sunday I was in church, he apologized for what he said. That what he said was a misinformation. You see, the truth is everything that is being done by someone in authority or someone that has influence can change how things are being seen. It can change the way culture is seen or the way history is seen. So that apology is not because of the church. That apology is to protect the church and protect the sanctity of the role it carries.
What of Tony Elumelu? His friend.
All the others that are there.
He was also there
at the
dancing.
party.
I think we didn't see him at the night of tribute either.
They were disinvited, I'm sure.
And it's possible that he was also disinvited, but he also was at the party. I mean, we didn't see the whole video of the party. It's just that small clip where he was dancing that we saw. And suddenly it seemed that he was already judged because, hey, he was celebrating. It wasn't his fault that somebody set up a whole party and brought what was that guy's name? The Shine guy, the dance, the flavor. It wasn't, it wasn't his fault that he didn't know what happened. He didn't just come and celebrate with you. You invited me. I just danced with you. And suddenly, it seemed to be... Yeah.
Me, I know how to uninvite myself. I don't honor any invitation. I used to say I don't even go to burials because it was against my family values. We were raised, we didn't attend. But I saw my father honoring, and I started learning it. What I don't do is the partying, the fervency at any. I've honored a few that against, And so certain places you want to go, you look at it and say, no, this is wrong. This is not sensitive. This is not right. I didn't expect Elumelu because all of them are of the same age grade.
Yeah.
This guy is 57 and he died in his prime. And you go on and celebrate your 60th like, okay, you have a right to life. That's the way to be seen. You can comport yourself certain ways. Even if he was in attendance at the party, you could have been in mourning, sit down, no matter what they say, no, not at this time. And you, in your messages to the birthday girl, she will understand that she's doing something wrong as well. But you go on stage, you sort of endorse him. And the song in question, it's like people are shaking finger inside the eyes. People don't listen. The song in question, you were doing like this, certain things. No. A greatness. If it was your driver that died, you will still go, Abi. So now it's your friend that is as big as you that died, you still go again, waiting. Is this life? Okay, you just live life. If life is so beautiful, don't die, stay forever.
Yeah. Let me take this call from Kolawole. Thanks for calling, Kolawole. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Let me give you an instance. Before the election in Kaduna State, they killed some people, these herdsmen. And our president now has planned his birthday colloquium. He has spent millions.
I was there.
But because of those people they killed, he cancelled it. He went there and he said, this colloquium for today is cancelled.
Yeah.
That pastor is a psychiatric pastor.
Is it what?
He is not called by God. I am telling you, many of them are like that. A family, they lost
Mr. Kolawole,
people.
I have to cut that off because, I'm sorry, I have to cut that. Please, let's not mention names. Psychedelic is not a good name, and it's not a good word to describe somebody. We understand everybody's pain. We're only expressing our view.
Could have done better.
We're going to choose the right words to describe each other. I was at that colloquium, so I can elaborate on what you said. I was at the colloquium. We're all there, getting our seats, sitting down, getting ready for the celebrant to come in. And we sat down there, and the president at the time came in. It wasn't the president at that time. He came in, and he said, based on what happened, everybody go home. We have to cancel this. After receiving, now people are now rushing to go and get their party pack. The souvenir. You can't do all the souvenirs, please. People are now rushing down. So
that would have
they all just
been...
went.
Yeah.
Everybody went home.
So, when things happen, that's when you really know people who are on your side. Sometimes we have people around us who show up when the times are good, and we assume because they are smiling with us and eating with us from the same plate that they are on our side. They're actually in our corner, but not on our side. You can have different sides in one corner. They are not on your side. So some of these things reveal who we really are at the end of the day. And that's why some people say it's very good that things happen, not as painful as this, but things just happen from time to time. It shakes up the bunch, and then the ones that are not on your side fall off, and you have the remaining who are your ride and die, right? It was just painful that, you know, back in the day when we used to have churches that I know of, I've been to many churches, I've participated, I've done a lot of things in different capacities, spiritually in different churches. There used to be like a governing board, like a council of elders, where pastors bounce off ideas before they carry out any action. I don't know if that still happens.
No, there are boards. Every church
no, wait,
has a
now,
board.
let me finish what I hear.
Auntie,
no, before you come there, don't cut me, Mariah. Let me finish what I'm saying.
They
used to, I'm just saying.
That's the challenge. There shouldn't be. Churches should not have level.
Leave level. If you've heard of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, now that's like the billionaires and the millionaires in Utah,
So
America, are churchmen.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a wealthy church. I'm just saying in organization and structure, as the business, because it's a business, gets bigger, you have structure where one person cannot unilaterally take a decision, whether it's personal or not, because of the position that you hold. So you have a governing council or council of elders or whatever you want to call it, pastoral, blah, 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 want to call it, that would bounce off every idea and say, okay, our mama is about to have a party, but now we have this desk in our hands. Should we cancel? And then they test the pulse. We cannot do this at this time. They will have their arguments between one another. We cannot do this at this time. Can we suspend this? Can we do that? So that every action that comes out at the end of the day, the whole church is held responsible because it's not just one person. So I wanted to ask you now that you are the church member. Do you people have this council?
Listen,
council, rather.
There are different churches. So the kind of churches you're describing in Utah, even the Seventh-day Adventists, even the Catholic Church,
they have a better structure.
They have different structures.
No, not better.
My own church, I would say better. They have different structures. Our church has different structures.
Okay.
Now the RCCG, I'm not a RCCG official, so I don't have all the details. But we have our Father in the Lord, which is Daddy Gio, and he heads the church. And there are the various provincial and regional pastors who head, which this church also on their parish is also under a province who has somebody in charge. Now, decisions on birthday parties are not something you take to the province for decisions. It's not something that even the original pastor can decide. It's a personal decision. It's your own birthday party.
Wow.
However, the point is that I hear what you're saying is that there should be a board of trustees, but I don't think this is an issue that had to go to the board of trustees.
Yeah, mama.
However, the reaction, however, of this should probably get the board involved, maybe the province. Okay, should you have gone ahead with this? Should there be a sanction? Should there be some kind of a sanction to deter churches from this kind of behavior?
Well, you know, if we don't,
okay. The reason why I said there are levels is that we're not talking about just any church.
Yes, this is COD.
COD is RCCG.
Yeah.
Like that is us.
And it's wrong to have that kind
and
of.
they are a very important foundation of the church. They are important part of the church that you can't just go ahead and be sanctioning. So you also have to have a conversation about it.
And that's what you just said now.
Yes. Is the problem.
It's a massive problem. There is nobody.
Bring to this table.
It's not. We can choose not to because we have to. She's a member of the church now. We cannot be doing that.
You can't bring my church matter to the table.
Yes.
We are discussing Herbert Wigwe.
Yes. So I'm bringing it back.
Yes,
I'm bringing it back.
I didn't know.
We were trying to. We were trying to discuss. I'll give example of the structure in my own church because that's where I worship. There's a replacement that wants to take place within the organization, and while the pastor sanctioned it,
go ahead.
The board did not sanction it, and the pastor said he can't do anything because the board did not sanction it. There must be checks and balance within the organization, but it isn't just Tony Libido that was at that party. Members were at the party. Deaconess and deacons were at the party.
And when they
don't have a relationship with the person that.
So what I'm saying is, how do you raise a structure that becomes so powerful as a leader that nobody can call you to account and tell you that this thing you just did? They cannot send you a text message
before you do it. Go.
Before you do it, I'm sorry,
Mama, this time. Mama.
And if you, as a leader, if you don't have it, you should be worried because you need people around like that can call you because you might be a good person with a good heart and oblivious. You can be a good person and oblivious of some things that are right or wrong. I didn't respect boundaries for very many years. As a good person, I just did not understand that these are things you should not do. Don't get too close to this. Don't touch this person's things. Or I was taught and I opened myself to learn. But imagine you become so high as a person.
And nobody
can then tell you.
Let me take this call. About to go. Gabriel has been holding for a while. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Good morning, Gabriel.
Sorry, Gabriel.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Okay, I think I lost that call. Go ahead, Nima.
Okay, there's an angle we are not bringing in, the cost of planning an event. So my whole concern is that because this person that Mora is talking about is too big and high and mighty, is it that she cannot bear the extra cost of cancelling the event, you know? So like maybe the caterers will say, okay, we've already bought tomatoes, so but okay, if we have to move this event to next year or forward, you pay an extra. Or let's even say the food have been cooked like the colocom, and the cost of it have already been disbursed. But can I not have a party after I've spent so much? You know, is that the situation? Is it the cost of event planning that make party go on?
Yes.
I'm asking a rhetorical question. No, it's rhetorical. It's to put to thoughts, push your thoughts.
Let us think about
towards it. That is it that she's not able to fund her birthday. You know that she cannot cancel it. You know that you cannot call the vendors and all of them and say, I don't want it. Is it that? She didn't see that side. Because, you know, if a person is very self-centered, one of those things they will look at, people will say, I cannot afford it. You know, and so for her, she just puts out there that, you know, a lack of means.
Then take James. Good morning, James. Thanks for calling.
Morning, Maria. How are you?
Very well, sir.
I think it's
I can't hear you, James. Your bedroom.
Can you hear me now?
You're using bedroom voice, please.
No. That is not the bedroom voice. That's my normal voice.
Okay, go ahead.
Mariah, that's my normal voice.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
I just greet every one of you. You see, just your topic. Now, let me just go to your topic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Like what the topic you just raised now. You see, some pastors, not some, most of the pastors we have now, they are into businesses, nothing more, nothing like Christianity here. Because you can imagine when a member of such person dies and who has been maybe a pillar of the church also, quote unquote, the birthday celebration can be postponed. You can just make to a week after the burial. Once the burial is over, then you can celebrate whatsoever you want to celebrate. But like what just happened, I just like the pastor or the pastor's wife or the church itself, they are celebrating that this man is gone. I think that is just the bottom line. And there's nothing like Christianity again. All we are after now, all things that have been happening, every church now, go deeply. Mariah, I'm telling you now, just do your investigation. I know you people, you are into investigating journalism or something. Go deep.
Thank you, James.
99% of the churches, they are into business. I tell you.
Thank you, James. Thank you very much.
99% is a huge generalization.
But you see, I was going to bring another part, an angle to this. There's a possibility that if I was the wife of the pastor, you know, I could see things in this way, saying, listen, everything this man who passed has done for this church is to God, not to me. It was not me you gave your money to. It was not me you gave me money. It's God. So it is God. It is God that has received the money and has for the work
How did God receive the money?
Now,
Mariah,
listen,
let's just leave it at that.
I'm looking at it from it was not me, Mariah, you gave your money. It was God you gave this money to. And God has used this money for
Let me use
people.
Let me use another angle.
Which account?
Don't make me feel as if I'm going because
I'm responsible for the donations to the church.
No.
You did not put it in my account.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. It's just it did not put it in my account now. It's church account.
Yes.
It wasn't personal.
Managing the church account.
The church is not personally managed. Who
is representing the church?
I'm telling you, the truth is, there are few smaller churches. In small churches, accounting decisions are carried out by the general overseer. In most big churches, accounting decisions among each other cannot be taking place. As like you can't, the general overseer is going to have to, is going to be discussing and tabling it. It's not a personal decision.
Unbelievable.
Another thing is maybe we are overrating the relationship they have. Maybe they don't have a relationship.
Even though.
I'm just saying. Because I checked, it could be, maybe we as people outside are saying, this big person is in your church, why are you, maybe they don't even have a relationship like that. We don't know. Because I checked Pastor ID's page, no mention. Pastor Shiju's page, no mention. So Pastor Shiju even just posted one, I think after it really died, she just posted a picture of Herbert Wigwe, and that was all, no other mention. So I feel that when you are, maybe somebody can look at me that maybe they see me with someone and think we're very, very close, but we're not close. I have somebody like that, people assume that this is your mentor. You people are very, very close. Hey, it's not my mentor. We don't, close Ben, yeah. We just take picture at occasions together.
That one's different. That's personal relationship. Can I tell you why it's different? Okay, go ahead. Nima.
I wanted to say something. So, the churches...
Pause, let me pause. You have a call from London, no vex. One thing, being guy from London, I do apologize. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Well, good morning.
Yes.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I do appreciate your program a lot. I just want to comment because of the show. I lost my son, which is 5 years old, January 8th. The boy wasn't sick, and he just died. The question I'm putting in is, most of my friends have just something to celebrate within a month. Up to now, they cancel everything just to stand by me. I just believe that the pastor should be so sensitive. A member of the church should not postpone it. Because you know that.
Thank you very much, Benga, for sharing your views. Yes, Nima.
Church is a corporate entity, a corporate personality, something that is just, is not existent, is a building. It is the relationship of these individuals with Wigwe that must have brought in all the, whatever they exchange in gifts and favors and help and assistance. He will not go and give it to a building of a group of unknown people. That's the truth. And if he wants to do God's work, he's from Rivers. If he enter Rivers like this,
I go scatter the whole
he go see people where go distribute, they go, they hail him, hail the family, go the family house.
Yes. He's doing that.
This school is a private business.
Yeah, but he's also doing,
no.
I'm sure he's doing stuff.
No, Mura, I also want to add
You don't understand, you're a Muslim.
No, leave it now.
understand.
I don't understand grief. Okay, let me add, leave that one. I want to add this part of friends falling out. So, because somebody say, we don't know. If you know somebody at all, in Yoruba language, if you know somebody at all, you even know the person, but they are far from you. You know them. When you come to respect them, not because you're close, you might respect them. And you must show that respect even in grief. I'm saying, you had a friend before, you people are falling out. We had a situation of a friend that, we shared. And when your mom passed, I called her. I said, did you hear Morel's mom passed? She said, I don't know how to go there. I said, you better make sure you show up in that house because death is a visitor that will touch everybody. Yes, and she has both parents still alive. She was like, yeah. I said, think I'm well. And I cut the phone. She called me later in the evening. I've just gone to Morel's house. I'm leaving.
That's why.
Because, no,
we don't. That can call you out.
We don't all have sense. Sense is not selective.
Wisdom.
But you must also think about it. That we've known before. There are relationships that extend the way you define them. It's not something everybody understands. Even when we fight, it's not something that everybody must understand. I keep relationship with my friend's parents, and I will be fighting the friend. I lost a friend in university. She had even graduated, and I made sure I stayed with her parents until I saw that my visiting her mom was even causing her more grief. I made sure I showed up at her brother's birthday. She has passed, though. She will not be here to say I kept the relationship. I showed up. The mom was shocked to see me at her brother's wedding because they didn't even remember to extend the invitation. But the young man had said, my wedding is coming up, auntie. And I showed up to honor a late friend. Some things you keep, they don't need to be something other people understand, but you must keep it. It is expected of you. It shows your sense.
Again. From Abuja. Wale, thanks for calling. You're live. Hello, Wale. Are you there? I think we're having issues at calling. Go ahead.
So when you are a spiritual head, every soul that God brings to you is for you to nurture and care for. You are the shepherd. Even
Said they
Jesus
not
said,
call you
every
for yourself.
flock that was given to me, I preserved all of them. None was missing. That's your job as a spiritual head. Even if it's not Herbert, even if it's the least usher or the cleaner that this happened to, and this party happened, I will say the same thing. You are not sensitive to the person who, you are not mourning with the person who is mourning. You rejoice when they are rejoicing, but you don't mourn with them. And you're already falling in the things that's supposed to uphold that organization. That's one. I did not send money to God. Please, let's clear it. You are a human being representing God. I sent money to you because I believe that you have a
manage
call
it well
on your head. And that's why I sent money. I could have sent money to any other person, but I chose to send it to you to further the work of God. I expect that you recognize me. I expect that you mourn with, not to recognize me as in praise me or in church and or give me front seat. That's not what I'm saying. I expect that you empathize with me, with anything that I'm going through, the way I would empathize with you. Because right now, we are the church. We always say it's a corporation, it's a building. Even Jesus said it. You are the church. We are the church. How do I relate with you when you're mourning? How do I relate with you when you're rejoicing? How do I relate with you when things are not going on for you? That's what the relationship should be about. Not whether you gave your money to your God. Which God? God did not give me account.
Okay.
You gave me your tithe booklet. I decided to pay into the tithe. And I see where the money is going to in the four walls of the church, and we're all glorifying God. If anything happens to me, I expect a certain reverence that I am a part of this building and I'm a part of this church.
And that reverence,
and that's not just for Habato, for every member of the church.
Contributed ice block.
Ice block.
And that reverence.
Contributed cement block.
And that reverence.
It's not 1 minute prayer.
Hello?
1 minute.
That reverence come from one and only one person, God. Should. Wait. God is the only one that can say, yes, you get this. Right now, the heavens will open and welcome him because he has done so much to the kingdom of God.
Okay.
It is God who owes him that reverence.
Okay.
Even God can also send people to him to acknowledge that. Well, I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example. I'm trying to look at the other side of the picture.
shepherd.
Not because I totally agree, but I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to see, I'm trying to see the fact that as a person, as a pastor, you have brought in this. It's not to me, Moriah.
No, whether you bring in or not.
You have brought it to the work of God because everything we are doing here is for the work of God.
Sweetheart.
So your own acknowledgement and reference doesn't come from me. It should come from the other of God.
No, BC, you know you have said, you've established that they should give
let's separate whether I'm bringing money or not. The fact that I belong to a place, you probably converted me, and I belong to that place, and I give my time and energy in that place. I belong to this family. It's like a family.
Yes.
The church is supposed to be a family.
Yes, I agree.
So if in your family, something happens to one person, and the other person is saying, all the cooking you have been cooking for us since you've been cooking it for God.
Yes,
I
get you.
to do.
We agree. No, I get you. I agree with you. I've already said the Koti Oda, what happened was wrong. However, as we sit down, we also know that human beings are wired to fail at one thing or the other. Human beings make mistakes. That's why there's room for apology. That's why there's room for repentance. That's why there's room for redress. Okay. We cannot castigate a human being so much that we don't give the room for acknowledging for that. It's a human being. People make mistakes. I'm traveling tomorrow.
I made a mistake.
I'm traveling tomorrow, and we had booked this ticket was supposed to go in October, my husband and I. And my mother-in-law died. And I was like, the cost of changing tickets is expensive. Mark, let's go. He said, I cannot travel when my mother just died. Right.
So you would have traveled?
I would have traveled. Some people traveled. Some people traveled in the family.
Yeah.
It was a case of, the truth is, I didn't...
Paid money, yeah.
They felt like it was going to cost us 10 for the other person, 10 million to change because theirs is business tickets. Me, my own is economy tickets. So we paid. My husband said, I cannot. So while in all my good conscience, I said that Mama was sick. Mama is old, she's in her 80s, Mama has died, we will do burial, but we will not spend extra money changing tickets. He insisted. You must listen. You must have people that will tell you what is wrong is wrong. You must also listen when they tell you what is wrong is wrong. But even when you make the mistake of doing the wrong thing, there must be room for you to say, I am a human being.
That's what we're saying.
I can make mistake. Yeah. She's a human being. Yes. Pastor is a human being. Members are human beings. Tony is a human being. They can make mistakes. And they choose to do this party that is wrong in a way that is public and loud in the face of grief is wrong. So What do you do when you make that mistake?
I also made my own mistake. The mistake I made when the same friend who you called to come and mourn with me, unfortunately, I disinvited her for whatever reason. I can't even remember what the reason was. And it was a very wrong thing for me to do. Even
you were grieving at that time.
I apologized, and I went back to her, and I begged her. Although she still did not show up, obviously. But I begged her profusely. I called people to please help me beg her. I am really sorry for what I did. It was not intentional. But at that moment, I knew that I owed her an apology.
You knew you had goofed.
So that was she saying.
Goofing is normal.
We would all make mistakes.
We all do.
You know. However, you must not. You must also understand where I'm coming from. That if I were the woman of God, I'm just trying to see things.
I lie, you know if you do. Stop doing balance. Stop doing balance.
I mean, I understand.
Stop doing balance more.
Yes, so we are in your
I'm still moderating.
Yes.
Continue.
I understand that who I am as Murayo, definitely. I'm putting myself in the shoes of the person we're talking about. And saying that there could be ways she has seen it in a different way. Saying that you people are saying I should not go out with my party. I can go on my party because everything this man has done, he did it for God, not for me. So me, I have my own community, I have my own friends, others have already done things. I have my own tribe that I'm going to have a party with. But the responsibility or the loyalty he has to this house, it's not to me personally.
Let me bring community to the side. You know those people who attend burials and they'll be like, just give me the beats. I don't used to eat much, but let it not waste. Those are people. And we see them. Those are the people we are trying to balance for. You know? No, it's not, this is our brother that died, but I'm mourning him. Spray me. Yeah, that brother did not spray me. It's my mother, I'm burying you.
You came to cry, but you are eating.
She did not know that my mother
Amala is going, rice is going.
That's the logic that I thought, I can't be in this space because I just thought the rationale of no parties and burials for me works for me. These people have no way of seeing it.
Well, let's go back to the man himself.
The man. We will go back to him. But the way of repairs, I think they hold them as long as it takes. They hold his kids now. Because he's not there to receive his good back now. And the way they comported themselves. God doesn't dispute his own. But there's the human side of things.
Yeah.
I know someone who's built a house on my father's land, and the kids did not think it was okay to reach out when he passed. And when they say, because we did this, I said, okay, if you are stupid, I'm not. I just decided, cut it off.
Please, let me just quickly...
He gave you shelter, and this is the way you comport yourself. You cannot now tell me how I should comport my thoughts.
Okay, so another thing we should mention is some people will now start looking at the church, like the maintenance, it's a business center, and you will now you will generalize how you relate with the body of the church system based on one or two people's, what you see as misdeed from their part. I also know that what the Bible expects us to do is that when we do things for God, we're not expecting a human being to reward us. Even if I do good to a human being, I'm not expecting the human being to reward me. And I'm not going to stop doing good because one human being disappointed himself or did not live up to expectation. My good is to God. My sowing is to God. My giving is to God. Yes, I will value to be appreciated. Our value, because you can make your sacrificial offering to church and they did not call you to say thank you for the sacrificial offering you gave because they did not see
I don't expect
it. It is
exactly.
It is.
I don't expect
when you landed your own, you landed your own.
Go ahead.
Let me drop this because it is important that we don't start doing good expecting the person I did it to should reward me.
Exactly.
And
yes,
let me say you go see if the person not get sense.
Yes, but as you are vexing, open your eyes so that you don't vex into sin. Because somebody else sinned.
So let me just
Can I say something? I cannot be cooking for my husband because we have a relationship and expecting God to pay me. My husband should smile and appreciate that I am cooking.
Yeah, but if he doesn't...
No, hold on. This is a close-knit relationship. If I'm giving to outsiders, I'm not expecting anything. There's nothing tying us. But if I am worshiping in a place, there's something... The pastor can call me at any time and I will abandon whatever I'm doing and come and, help out.
But if he doesn't?
No, hold on. If that is no, you don't need to do it for me when I'm there. The fact that I am no longer there, you should.
But let me respond to you.
No, hold on.
Do you know how many couples How many women are doing things for their husbands every day and they're not...
No, there's no smile.
There's no thank you. There's no...
Does it make it right?
No! So I'm just saying what
they are doing it unto God.
They preserve because they know they're doing it unto God. They're also doing it for their children. They know in future, my children will reward me. So your reward is like my children.
Your reward is in heaven. As we tell the teachers. As we tell our teachers. As we tell our good people.
If we
God,
go by that,
Yes.
that means God. Shebi, you need money. You will have to call me that.
Come down, come and collect it.
Come and collect the money. I will keep it for you. Anytime you come, I'll give it to you. But if I'm giving it to an individual who is representing you, I expect some form of decorum. That's all.
Also, let me just support Tokwe. In this is a trial for the family. For him that has passed, for his family. The trial is that the good he did will not be rewarded by man. That's the lesson for him.
Yeah.
For him, but doesn't make it right for the people who did it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you do good to people, they never see it, they don't appreciate it. But that's your trial. That's your own cross to carry. Maybe God has said, no matter what you do, your relationship and your reward is strictly with me and only me. And nobody else will be able to reward you for it. That's his own lesson, but doesn't make it right.
Lessons from the parents. What do you think the parents are thinking? These are people who have served the Lord all their lives. I mean, it's a very difficult conversation to have because I keep thinking, I mean, I saw them once in my own church. They came for an event and I saw the two of them. And so this was even before what happened. And I remember, I was telling my husband, that is Herbert Wigwe's parents, you know. So I just kept thinking of that picture. And I'm thinking, these are people who were serving God with everything they had. Yeah. You know, so what do you think they
have the strength to handle it. God will not give them what they cannot handle. That's just what we have to believe.
Sorry?
Well, I say God will not give them more than they can handle. They definitely have the strength to handle it. And they have an assignment on their hands. And I'm sure that they have the ability to carry it on to ensure his legacy lives on. But because, as we're rounding off, let us go back to the iconic Herbert Wigwe and the quality of life he lived and how we should be reminded to take stock of our own life and the impact we are having. And understand the fact that it is not in the... We've had politicians die in this country that did not get what Herbert got in terms of response to how his impact in the lives of so many people. We've had politicians pass on, some in office, some outside office, and the eulogy, some of them are tainted with a lot of insults and a lot of negative feedback. So this is opportunity for the high and mighty, our dear politicians, as well as everyone like us on the streets of Lagos and Nigeria at large to take stock of our lives and ensure that we're living a life that will give us...
It's a very painful one to see your children pass. I think one of his siblings also passed. This is not the first death the parents are having. And it is deep. It calls the question, why? Why me? God, what have I done? Have I not given my life? Have I not served you and all of that? But I just want them to understand that they have a purpose in all of this, that God would give them the strength to go through this for the greater good that he's going to bring before them, and also give them the strength to nurture the remaining ones, the remaining children, the grandchildren that they are going to be left with and all of that. And to also call everyone who has claimed or who has benefited from this family not to abandon them. Because what I see is after a few weeks, everybody just moves on to their life and nobody's calling anymore to check on the kids and check on the
we have to wrap up with you. Nima, final words.
I believe that there's still grace in this. I have come to accept certain trials as God knowing that this is the extent I can take, because I weigh it with others and say, no, this one was to happen, I won't be able to take it. So I think that they have their grandkids and they should be consoled in that fact and invest the love into those remaining loved ones, family members, especially the children. They might be blessed with a long life because of those children. I've seen where people die in their prime and the grandmothers live so long with the grandchildren, you can't even tell that they are grandparents. So I believe that the gift is in the grandchildren for them.
That's all we can take on today's show. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. That's all we can take. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.